Today's episode of the Bill Simmons Podcast brought to you by SeatGeek. That is our presenting sponsor. That's the easiest way to shop for the best tickets thanks to the revolutionary grading system. Buy and sell tickets in just 2 taps on your phone. Everything fully guaranteed. Lombardi, you been to a Dodgers game yet?
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Use SeatGeek. Get $10 off
I
if
will
you use
go.
code
I definitely
BSMLB. Code BSMLB. SeatGeek. Hooking up my son next week for his first Fenway game ever against the hated Yankees.
You going back to Fenway?
I'm not. My dad's taking him.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm done. I'm on the east. I'm on the West Coast. It's too hot back east.
Yeah.
It's too hot. You were there. It's too hot. Download the SeatGeek app today or go right to SeatGeek.com. We're pleased to announce that the newly relaunched TheRinger.com. I hope you've been there. All kinds of articles, videos, podcasts, and we are brought to everybody with the new site by Miller Lite. They've been with us from the beginning. They've been fantastic partners. We're thrilled to have them as our relaunch sponsor all week. Patriots Week. I think we're on pace for 16 pieces. Tate hates it. Tate hates Patriot Week. House doesn't care because he's been here in LA all week eating food and he's in a coma.
Well, I'd like to drink a case of Miller Lite to cope with Patriot Week. It's the only proper way.
Well, I love Miller Lite.
You and Jay Gruden should have your own week together.
Yeah, Jay Gruden Week.
He's going to drink a case of Miller Lite watching Kirk Cousins this year.
And finally, we're brought to you by our 2 newest podcasts, Ringer FC, soccer podcast, Chris Ryan O'Hanlon, Micah Peters. Eventually, he's not on the first one, but they're talking about soccer for the soccer fans, by the soccer fans. Not much different than House of Carbs, for the hungry, by the hungry. And also the rewatchables we launched this week. I'm on that one, the first one anyway. A Few Good Men. We broke down A Few Good Men to the point that, like,
I need to listen.
It got to the point of what position did Tom Cruise play in the softball team? That's how deep we went. I said softball. I'm sorry, shortstop. But I think the other guys in the team resented him because he should have been second baseman. But
I
he's
thought
like
I was going to say second base.
No, but I think he put himself at shortstop.
Right,
but there was like this other
There's
lieutenant.
always that guy that runs out to
Yeah,
short.
and it's like,
He
all
is
right,
that
dude,
guy.
just play second. He was definitely that guy in that movie. All of this is brought to you by the Ringer Podcast Network, including this one. Mike Lombardi, Joe House, Tate Frazier, all coming up. But first, Pearl Jam. All right, here we go. Tate and Mike Lombardi were about to do GM Street.
Yep.
And we just started talking, and I needed a podcast. So Joe House is here, and we've been eating food all week, which you can watch our food journey on our Instagram account. At Ringer? That's our Instagram, right?
Yeah. No, the.
Joe, people don't believe how much food you've eaten.
I don't believe how much food I've eaten.
We went to San Gabriel Valley and had Chinese. We went to K-Town for the best patty melt in the world.
We started the whole
Chicken
thing off
wings.
with burgers. Your mom made brujolles and meatballs.
My mom made
nice.
brujolles and
Nice.
meatballs and
Yeah.
sausages.
Yeah.
What was the other
sweet.
thing you had?
When?
Oh, then we had 2
pastrami.
other burgers.
We had
And then we had the pastrami.
pastrami for dessert.
And we're not even done yet. It's
No.
Thursday, so
I
you
could
might
see
die.
this. Marie Osmond and you doing a commercial. I could see this together. That'd be perfect.
I lost 50 pounds.
I can't believe how, look,
Just like that, you
How
know?
old is Marie Osmond?
I don't know, but she looks really good in those
I kinda wanna
commercials.
grab her butt. I'm sorry.
This is a bad start to the pod. All right, so every week on the Ringer NFL show, you guys do GM Street.
Right.
Tate and Lombardi.
Yeah.
House and I were like, just put some mics on. And then all of a sudden it turned into a BS podcast. So do your thing. We're going to chime in.
Okay.
But then at the tail end, after you go through whatever Tate's show structure is, I want to talk just a light sprinkling of football bets
Okay.
that we can talk about. But Tate, take over.
I'm going to take over.
You do the Steve Young. I'm Montana. I'm just sitting on the sidelines with a clipboard.
Yeah, this is going to be a weird one. I feel like it's strange. I'm usually sitting right there, but now I'm sitting right here in the normal Bill Simmons seat.
Yeah.
Mike Lombardi, GM Street. You're back. This is the first time we've had Lombardi in the studio in quite some time. He didn't even know that we moved the podcast studio. We tricked him. You were just wandering around the lot at that point.
Yeah.
He's super tan.
Yeah, and he's got a
I
New
didn't know
Jersey.
Italians got that tan.
He's
Yeah,
only got a New
relax,
Jersey
Lombardi.
home shirt on. Like he's still.
This
repping.
is the shirt. This
Yeah.
is the shirt of the summer. I bought one for my grandson.
Yeah.
It says home. It's right there. He's the only 2 of us born in the state of New Jersey, so he claims that, Dominic. And so I had to get him a T-shirt that would bear the name. I'm wearing it proudly for him.
So you went to a lot of camps when you're on the East
Yeah.
Coast, obviously. What was the number one highlight while you're on the East Coast? You went to the Jets, Eagles, Patriots, of course. Can we just get one highlight, one story?
I think a highlight is the Giants receivers, like watching Beckham in pregame workout, going through his routine is a little bit like, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Like Chris Carter was always stuck me as like a guy that when you watched him catch the ball in pregame warmup, it was like remarkable. Like his hands were like, there's nobody should do that with their hands. I thought Beckham was like that. I wasn't like, I'm not sure.
What's he doing? Like the one-handed, like the
catching
gun
them
shooting
weird,
the footballs at him?
or punts coming off and he catches them behind his back. I mean, that's like really weird things he can do. His eye-hand coordination is really remarkable.
Tate, that's the difference between basketball and football.
Yeah.
In basketball, you celebrate this stuff, and it's like Steph Curry's warming up. Oh, this is amazing. Watch this. He makes 8 straight 35-footers, and in football, it's like, don't take your helmet off. Don't put any of this stuff online. I would love to watch Odell Beckham grab footballs from some gun or some punts backwards. And why can't I watch that? Is it online? It's probably not.
Probably, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the stands was filming it, but I mean, it's like what they get early to go. They try to let people in early to watch Curry shoot, right? And the Warriors were trying.
Yeah,
they were
it's a
trying to
whole
get
thing.
people. Yeah, and so you could see it during camp. But to me, there's some guys that have such unique skills catching the ball. Like Chris Carter was like really like he was amazing, and watching Beckham, he was like that. Jarvis Landry.
What's the list, by the way? Is there like a Mount Rushmore for that?
Hands?
Yeah, like just
guys
guys
guy
warming
would be
up.
on the list. House, you may remember this guy. We signed him as a free agent when Belichick and I were in Cleveland in our old Plan B. Keenan McCardle might have had the greatest hands I've ever seen.
Really?
Not Chris Carter type hands, but close.
But he was slow. That was the rub with him, right?
He was not slow, but of course, when we were so stupid, we let Tom Coughlin come into our practices to let him evaluate. This is in '95, before the Jaguars became a team in '96. And of course, he stole
And that was it.
Keenan McCardle from us, and he went on to have a really good career with Mark Brunell. But he had hands like, everybody grades hands on a scale of 1 to 9, right? And the 6 and the 4 hands are pretty much the same. They're just inconsistent. I watch you one day, you look like a 6. I watch House the next day, it might be a 4. They're about the same, but they're inconsistent.
400 pounds after the end of the season.
But like 7 or 8 hands like Carter has and McCardle has, those are rare to find.
What do you think Tate has?
I would probably say Tate's a 5.
Oh, right in the middle.
What's Beckham?
Beckham would definitely be a 7.
I would say Tate could have the spectacular catch every once in a while, but then maybe also drop the 3rd and 8, like just high swings.
So like OBJ in the playoffs.
The tall, big receiver who can make the highlight film play.
Yeah, Braylon Edwards type.
Yeah, I'm the guy who's alligator arming over the middle.
Yeah,
I just don't want to get hit. Just don't hit me.
The contact would play into effect here.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I think that the fans see that, and that's what makes Beckham so spectacular as a player, is his uniqueness in terms of how well Jarvis Landry catches it just as good. I mean, Jarvis Landry's got incredible hands.
I can't wait for the Pats to sign him in 2 years. It's going to be incredible.
Did
Did Blake Bortles give you that kind of feeling watching him warm
Blake
up?
Bortles has never given me any feeling. In fact, I'll double down on Blake Bortles if you want. Like, I love all this talk about how Blake's turned around. Like, I'm going to double down and say I think Blake's going to have a worse season this year.
Ooh, how could he have a worse season? What needs to happen?
I'm just saying they're playing tonight, and I don't care what he does against New England. I'll tell you, if you're a Jaguar fan, I don't think your team's going to be very good because you got Blake Bortles, and that's it.
Lombardi is right on cue right now. We're actually the whole point of the podcast today is to do summer hot air storylines. So these are bold predictions that are being made in the summer. Lombardi just started off with his main one.
I can't read the paper
his
anymore.
His favorite player, Blake Bortles, just took him down.
It's impossible. I go to the redzone.org every morning to try to start to read something and try to, with an open mind, and like, this guy's having a great day. This guy's nobody's having a great day.
Everyone's exceeding expectations.
Sean McVay just proclaimed somebody has a stranglehold over the backup running back. They played 4 practices. He's giving them a stranglehold against 2.
Yeah. Well, Todd Gurley's going to get the ball. That's all we know.
Yeah.
That's the Rams offense.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's just the whole point of today is we're going to do a lot of summer hot air storylines. We're going to play some quotes. We're going to react.
Well, explain what the hot air storylines is. Part of this is from mid-July to mid-August, there's nothing to talk about.
Nothing going on, right.
And that's when people start looking at each other and going, I'll tell you what, I think Blake Bortles could make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You got nothing to talk about.
Right. He went to see some guru this summer, and he's going to turn his game around.
Yeah.
He's scared to get hit. He's getting the ball. It's like a hot potato in his hand. Like, there's no chance. I know David Caldwell, the GM there. I call him John Smith. He's going down with the Titanic. Edwin Smith. He's going down with the Titanic.
Tate, little tip for you.
Yeah.
House, you would love this Twitter feed. There's a Twitter feed called Blake Bortles Facts. and it's all facts that are actually true.
I gotta follow this.
But the
Lombardi
tweets,
runs the account.
the tweets are like, if Blake Bortles throws 8 touchdowns in week 1, he'll set the record for most touchdowns. It's all things Blake Bortles can't do. And it's like Blake Bortles has thrown 88 touchdowns to 9 different teams. So he's figured out a way to make fun of Blake Bortles while just presenting the Blake Bortles facts. It's kudos to that guy. He only has 3,000 followers.
Oh, I'm following
It's tremendous.
that
All
guy.
right, Kate, let's hear it. Hot air.
First one that we have up, Andrew Luck, a guy, quarterback that a lot of people love. Everyone thinks he's a good guy. He's basically become a star at this point. We all remember the playoff game against the Chiefs when he came back against Andy Reid. It's probably his biggest claim to fame. Stephen A. Smith and Jeff Saturday were on the program First Take this summer, and they had a heated debate. And the
They
question,
had a heated debate?
A heated
What?
debate. I don't know. Embrace
Are you
it,
kidding?
and it happens every week. Has Luck lived up to the hype? Was the question, and we're going to play their response right now.
Has he lived up to the hype? Oh, wow.
Just because most teams would take him does not mean that he's lived up to or surpassed hype. Nobody's saying that Andrew Luck is a scrub.
What hype
Nobody's saying that he's not a
what
stud
hype
in the
hasn't
making.
he lived up to? What has he
I
not
just
done?
told you. They're 9 and 12. Well, wait a minute. They're 9 and
been
12
3 and
over the
3
last
in the
12
playoffs.
over the last 21 games he started. The AFC side. Hold a minute. I'm talking to Jeff Saturday here.
I'm with
Jeff
you.
Saturday and I. Hold it. Jeff
And
Saturday and I
you
have
and-
been on the air together.
Absolutely.
I'm just answering your question.
Okay.
I'm just answering your question. Jeff Saturday and I have been on the air together in the past. You know what a stud I believe he is. But as it pertains to the specific question, in terms of the height, there have been times where we sat up there, and even though we pointed to the level of protection he's not getting, we also pointed to his decision making. We also pointed to the absence of growth. We also pointed to the fact that he needed to really go about the business of imploring the organization to come up with mechanisms to protect him better. We've talked about a lot of these
But you're
things.
blaming
All
him
of
for
that
the
comes with the
GM
most
stuff,
important
Stephen A.
position in the game,
You're
which is the
blaming him for
quarterback position.
But here's my issue. Is if this conversation happens last year after last season, I mean after the season two seasons ago, I would get it. But he's come back from that. Last year he had 4,000 plus yards, 30 plus touchdowns, 13 interceptions. The guy has played as well as you can ask him to play with what you've surrounded him with.
All right, can I add something to this just to stir the pot a little bit? It's reliably reported to me, and I mean this is fact, that Ryan Grigson, the general manager, who basically they're all criticizing in the thing because they're basically saying that Luck's no big deal.
It's the rest of the team around.
It's the
Luck.
rest of the team, and Grigson has been the architect of this bad team around them.
Yeah.
Thinks he's never made a mistake, thinks he was justly unfairly fired. And so, that's reliably reported to me, and I find it fascinating since, I'm not sure whose side I'm on after listening to all that, but the one thing I do know, is Luck has yet to proven he can have a signature win. And the reality is the team around him, when you have little receivers like he has that can't run with the ball they make plays down the field. They've made this offense to where he's prone to get hurt. It's all 7-step drop, throw the ball down the field because they got little receivers. They want to throw it down the field. And I think the guy is overhyped. I really do. I think he hasn't proven out to be the player because I can't find a signature win.
But what does overhype mean, though?
Well, because I think everybody because I was at NFL Network at the time.
Yeah.
All right. When he came out with RG3.
Oh, you mean overhyped, like for what he was supposed to be 4 years ago?
Charlie Cashley was proclaiming him as the next John. I sat right next to Charlie, and he was saying he's the next John Elway. And timeout. Wait a minute. They both went to Stanford, but he's not the next John Elway. Like, okay, he's a great player. And I think every franchise would love to have him as their quarterback, no doubt. But I think he was projected to be this incredible player when in reality, look at his road record, look at the interceptions. I can make a reel. In fact, I had it. It's still back at the Patriots, of interceptions he could have thrown.
Yeah.
That were dropped. They weren't just like bad. They were just dropped. I mean, he takes a lot of chances. I think he gets away with a lot of things because he is overhyped in that say, well, it's Andrew Luck. It's okay. It's okay. And so I do think there is some, but I think the team around him was bad. And it was badly designed for his skill set.
I mean, they did make the AFC title game. That's good.
Yeah.
They play behind by just so many times. My memory of the Andrew Luck era is just them being down by 17, and then
It's like 28-3 every game, and then
them
it's like, all right.
him trying to come back, and him almost coming back, and he takes a lot of hits. But when the funniest thing when they're talking about I think that was Jeff Saturday talking about the stats, and he's comparing Luck's stats. I don't think you can compare anybody's stats from this decade to anybody last decade. It's so nobody gets hit anymore.
Right.
The interceptions are way down. Like even the most out. Like you sent me that list of trying to guess who was who between Matthew
got you.
Stafford and
I know
Andy
it.
Dalton. And Andy Dalton's stats are good if you look at them.
You just look at
Everybody,
the number.
even bad quarterbacks have
4,000
stats
yard passing
Like
seasons.
I grew up with Steve Grogan. Steve Grogan would have years he'd throw 9 touchdowns with 17 interceptions. That was his whole year.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's really hard.
Well, Saturday's over there saying he doesn't have a running game. That's why he has so many yards passing. I mean, it's the chicken and the egg thing. I mean, so it's about winning. I mean, in baseball, they put pitchers' win-loss record up there. Okay, and Luck's done a good job of winning. I grant that. But
well, now they put WHIP and XFIP and
whatever that
ERA
is.
plus.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
All those stats.
I just think, to me, Luck is a guy that needs to have a better supporting cast. He needs receivers that complement what he can do.
Well, let me ask you this: if Manning's first 5 years had been with Luck's team and coach from the first 5 years,
He would have had the coach fired.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
right.
way he would have. There's no
or
way
his dad would have.
There's no way he would have
Where's
tolerated.
Oliver Luck when you need him?
There's
Yeah,
no way
where
he would
is
have
Oliver
tolerated
Luck?
all this all this down the field. I mean, there was going to be some sophistication what he wanted to do. I mean, one thing about Peyton was very good at understanding what he had to do to be effective, get the ball. He couldn't get sacked. I mean, Peyton didn't take a lot of hits now.
He did get rid of it.
He got rid of the ball, and the offense was designed to tail it around him, and that's what made them so successful. I don't think they've done that with Luck. I don't think they have.
As an innocent bystander, if I'm sure you've gambled against Andrew Luck in your day. Are you scared of Andrew Luck when you've gambled against him? Does he put fear in your heart?
I have been scared of him.
Because I think that's the case for Andrew Luck, right? I've been in situations going against him where it's like, oh shit, Andrew Luck's getting hot.
He can get two touchdowns.
He does
in the
have
fourth
that.
quarter.
That's something.
Yeah.
And T.Y. Hilton makes plays down the field. So does Dorsett. I mean, they have guys that get explosive play. But remember, they're playing in a dome, so that's a huge advantage. I mean, nobody talks about that. Playing in a dome is a huge advantage, especially.
I talk about it. Nobody listens. That's the Brady Manning argument. Manning had how many more home games in a dome? Like 80?
It's unbelievable. And then when you go outside, the team slows down, and and so.
It's funny, when we were working on the top 25 Pats wins pod, or I should say me, watching those old games, and 2 years in a row, Manning comes to Foxborough in January in shitty weather.
Right.
And,
And Polian's influence was so powerful, he got the field changed. Because
remember, and then the Pats were mugging them in those games.
And the rules changed because they were really mugging them. I mean, that really opened up the reason the passing game is where it is today is because Polian got the rules changed to benefit. And I think it helps the game. I'm not being critical of Bill Polian here. I think it helps the game to let.
Let's be critical of Bill Polian, the ultimate Patriots hater.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. He hates the Patriots.
You know who we should ask?8andrew Luck.
Ooh.
Mike, thanks for defending me. This is my Andrew Luck
I'm not sure I did defend him. I'm so Stunat after hearing all that. I don't know if I defended him or not.
It's a great Italian.
But why can't he be like John Elway, right? Like the winning part of the
Can't
Super
move
Bowls,
around.
like the Terrell Davis. Like once he gets that running back, that no-name running back to come there and finally give him a running game, they can compete. They just don't have that. There's the one thing that they don't have. It's not like he doesn't have the
Flip that question
talent.
around. How many quarterbacks would you trust with a B-plus team to actually win the Super Bowl? He's on that list at least.
Yeah, he would definitely be on that
Yeah.
list. Look,
So how many
here's the
guys are
list
on that
he's
list?
on.
Like 8?
Here's the list he's on. If they don't win and Chuck Pagano loses his job, he will be a desirable everybody will want to come coach him. Everybody will want to come coach him.
If you were GM, how many first-round picks would you give up for Andrew Luck? 3?
Well, depending if my team was, okay, if I give up all these picks for Luck, I don't have
Let's say
any.
you're Minnesota last year.
You would at least give 2 up for him, at least. Yeah, I mean, you put him on that team with the right offensive line
In a
behind
dome.
him in a dome.
David Griffin would give up like 5. Like
Oh
he
my
doesn't
God,
care
yeah.
about first-round picks. He's just
What
like,
would
take
Billy
them
King
all.
give up?
Billy King would give up the whole team.
Billy King has lost the franchise. Next one we have Odell Beckham Jr.
All right, my guy.
Yeah, we mentioned him earlier in his great hands. Jason Whitlock says he is the most overrated player in NFL history.
Oh.
And we're going to play that clip now.
You've fallen for the okie doke. Odell Beckham Jr. is the most overhyped, overrated player. And he is a great player, but he's overrated. And his celebrity is completely overrated. You put him and Carmelo Anthony in the same room and watch what happens. It ain't even close. If Odell's not for the blonde hair, people wouldn't even know who the hell Odell Beckham
But he
Jr.
does,
is.
They do.
So Jason Whitlock says this about OBJ. Says he's overrated. Says it's about the blonde hair. You've seen him in practice. We obviously
But he
mentioned
can't
earlier.
really believe that, though,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's the thing. That's the whole point of the summer storylines. It's all fodder. It's all entertaining.
that's, like, particularly
It may be
crazy.
I find it unbelievable to think that they're going to make him the highest paid. To me, which is the most ridiculous thing I heard all summer, was making him the highest paid player in the sport.
That's a separate discussion.
Yeah.
Because I agree that
That's ridiculous,
you
right?
root against Odell twice a year. Dude. I mean,
Yeah, well, because I fear him. I can't believe that I'm going to come to Jason Whitlock's defense. That's an absurd thing. But I do think the point that Whitlock was making, which I think I kind of understand but don't agree with, is that he's overhyped. He's a media presence, a self-propelled media presence. But I think that is, comparing him to Carmelo is an interesting comparison because football players don't have that opportunity to self-promote. There's only 5 basketball players on a court. You know what a basketball player looks like. You can see his face 82 times over the course of a season.
no helmet.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. So
Yeah, it's like with basketball's a naked sport. Football, they have a helmet on most of the time. This is like the baseball argument, too. If Mike Trout came in right
That's
now,
right.
I'm not positive all
would
5
have
of
no
us,
idea.
I'm including Jim Cunningham, our producer, would know what Mike Trout looks like. If Carmelo comes in, he's tall, he's
Right.
Carmelo. Odell, I'd know because of the hair. It might take me a second.
But what if he was bald? What if he cut all the hair off?
Right.
We
But I'm
wouldn't
going to
know.
flip it around, though, because I actually don't think he's overhyped because I think two things. One, he really resonates with kids. Like I see it
Yep.
with my son and people in his school. Like they're in the schoolyard. They're pretending to be Odell Beckham.
Right.
Like
He's like
there's
the
no
Steph
other
Curry of football.
Yeah, there's no other receiver you would pretend to be, and I'm not even sure there's a running back you'd pretend. Maybe you'd pretend to be Le'Veon Bell. But so that's one, and then the other is like, guy's fucking scary. Like if you're rooting against him, or like the Giants fans I know, and it's like they're down 3 with 2 minutes left, and they're like, throw the ball to Odell. Odell's gonna get open, get us. Like he does have greatness in him.
I
And
mean,
I
guys-
think to me that's why he's not overhyped.
Yeah, I mean, the guy scored 35 some touchdowns. I mean, he's got over 30 touchdowns in 3 seasons, so you can't dismiss that. I mean, he puts the ball in the end zone. He makes plays.
The question, I mean, you worry about his. He's just a lot of work off the field,
Yeah,
and at
he's-
some point that in football that does not work for a long
and I think
term.
they magnified the problem by saying they're going to pay him. I think it just creates more of a bigger issue within their own culture. But if he's overhyped, look, he had some drops in that Green Bay game. I mean, that were critical on 3rd down. I mean, they kind of get passed aside.
I was going to say the big case against him is he sucked in that game,
Yeah.
and they had a chance to beat Green Bay.
And and Pete went to Miami and all that, and that kind of. But before the game, but to me, he's got 288 catches. Landry has 288 catches in their career. Both came out as LSU the same time, 3 years, and I think
So who'd you rather have?
Oh, well, Beckham's got 14 yards a catch. Landry's got 10. Beckham can make more plays down the field.
But Landry's not a problem off the field. You don't have to worry about him.
Landry's a really good player. He's a solid player. Beckham
Right.
gives you that dimension that, if he's open in the 3 line, he's
I'd
going
rather
to
have
make it.
Odell. I think all these wide receivers, for the most part, are divas in some respect,
I think if
except for the
Odell
guys
in the right
Pats.
culture. But the amazing thing, and House will direct. I mean, how did Les Miles not put the ball in the end zone with Jarvis Landry? I mean, there's a good
incredible.
question.
It's incredible. That
Mad
guy should
Hatter.
never coach a football team again. He should never coach a football team again.
There were other good guys in that team
There's
too.
more than first. You could make a team of them. I mean, couldn't beat
incredible.
Nick Saban. He was trying to play a 9-3 game with Nick Saban.
What would Belichick do with Odell Beckham?
I think it would have started from the beginning. I think he would have had to buy into the culture, and certainly the culture there isn't about promoting you're going to be the highest paid player in the game. I mean, if that's what you want, you're not going to get it there. It's a team sport, and everybody's got to kind of fall in. Look, the guy's a talented player. The one thing I admire about Beckham, he likes football. He does. He comes to play every week. There's no dog in Odell. He plays. He takes great responsibility. Be interesting to see how it all handles this year with Brandon Marshall over there in his ear. They got to get the ball to Evan Ingram. They got to get the ball to Sterling Shepard in the slot. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Are you pro Odell Tate?
Yeah, I was going to say I was at that Giants-Panthers game in 2015, the Josh Norman when he had the bat before the game.
Yeah.
The drama that like in the building, the drama of watching Odell, like the Giants fans love him to death. Everyone was talking about him.
They love him.
And the Cam Newton, OBJ, like the Panthers fans, like, it's like Cam's our guy, but like it's sort of fickle, like when Cam's doing well, he's our guy. But the Giants fans, I mean, they were down 35-7 in that game, and they're like, OBJ's gonna bring us back, and he like gets a slant, takes it to the house, and then he scores another touchdown back to back, and that place is going crazy. It was like the most insane thing I've ever seen in a football game.
It's a little like what the Wiz fans had with Gilbert in the mid 2000s. This crazy person who was also great.
Yeah, I mean, a meteoric talent. I think the thing that derailed Gilbert was injury.
Yeah,
so
just knees.
let's not.
And John Wall looming.
I do think this about Beckham. I think Beckham is symbolic of understanding millennials and not understanding a millennial. And there's a generation of people that understand millennials and then the ones that don't. And so there's that. It's really, whether you don't like Beckham or not, you're really going about, it's more about the millennial, how you feel about that, than it is about the person.
He can play the game, though. It's like he can do the manners. So OBJ was at the national championship game, and he's talking to these old Carolina fans that are there with their shirts tucked into their khakis, and he's shaking hands, saying yes sir, no sir. Like, he can play the game too, and I think that's why he can. That's why they give him all the money to market the shoes and stuff. They're like, this guy can do it all.
When I was at Celtics Wizards game 7, sorry House, as the game was winding down and the Celtics were going to win, this guy, a couple people left to beat the traffic, and this young guy came down who was like probably 22 by himself and stood in front of us in the now empty seat, and he had his phone, and he kept turning around to me and my dad with his phone, but then taking pictures of himself with the court behind him. And my 69-year-old dad was like, it was like a classic, I just don't understand this generation. Like, what's he doing? Is this guy going to stop? And he just didn't get it. The guy's taking videos and going, woo, with the phone. And my dad, it was just, he never felt so old. And I think that Odell was part of that generation.
Yeah.
Odell was like, if anyone was ever going to take a selfie as they're running for a football touchdown during the game, it would be Odell. Hey, speaking of injuries, House has an injured stomach. Let's cure it with Blue Apron.
Oh, yeah.
The number one fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country for less than $10 a meal. They deliver seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. Blue Apron. Easy to follow. No more overspending at restaurants or high-end grocery stores. Prepare memorable meals yourself in under 40 minutes. House, would you like to hear some of the meals available in August?
This is my favorite part.
Basil pesto chicken with summer vegetable panzanella.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Sauteed shrimp and green beans with globe tomato, spinach, and orzo pasta.
We're keeping it light in the summer. I enjoy this.
whole grain pasta, summer vegetables, heirloom tomato caprese salad.
Oh,
you love the caprese.
The caprese. You can go a lot of ways with the caprese.
Miso butter, salmon, and lo mein noodles with cucumber and charmed tomatoes.
Oh, the Asian touch.
And finally, the meatball pizza with fresh mozzarella cheese and charmed tomatoes.
You cannot F up a meatball pizza. That sounds delightful.
Right now, you can get your first 3 Blue Apron meals for free with free shipping. Just go to blueapron.com/BS. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. What else do we have, Tate?
I feel like this is almost like a House of
I
Cards
gotta
GM
ask
Street.
him a question.
Yeah.
I have to. Like, where's the best pizza in DC? Like, is there like one?
Oh boy,
DC pizza is on the come up. We had David Chang on the House of Cards a few weeks ago, and we were talking. We asked him, what next kind of comfort food thing? Where's there innovation in a traditional kind of comfort food? He said pizza. Pizza is still. There's a lot of ways pizza can go, and the question was put to me, what do you think about pizza in DC? And I had a hard time coming up with a good answer on the spot, but I upon further review and consideration, there are a half dozen really interesting, innovative joints going at pizza, and everybody's doing coming back to a traditional Neapolitan kind of delivery, the old Italian way. You can get the perfect wood burning oven. All of the tools you need to generate good pizza are available because the whole world is available to everybody now. Right. You can get the wood, you can get the oven, you can recreate.
You're not answering the question. This is like a politician.
Name a place? I'm just saying.
Name a place. He's going to DC. He wants to get a slice of pizza.
For you, though.
You're giving him a pizza lecture.
Wise Guys is outstanding, and so is Timber. I'm going to mess up the name, but they're just
Wise Guys.
I mess up every name. Don't worry, I mess up all the names.
Is it by the slice?
But do you realize the number one
great
meal on death row is pizza?
Is that true?
That's true.
What
Wow.
a tidbit here on the
The
BS
little
report
nugget for you,
presented
the
by
number
GM
one
Street.
meal requested
BS
on Death
podcast.
Row is pizza.
Wow.
It's comfort food.
It is.
I guess you're getting comfortable before you go. I have no idea. I mean, I hope I'm never there, but
My wife decided that her last meal on earth is the Cabot's hot dogs and brown bread with baked beans in Newton, Massachusetts.
wow.
She said that's how she'd want to go out.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's how good it
That's
is.
different from like last meal on earth versus death row meal. Those are two different ideas.
Well, she was like death row, whatever.
Okay.
That's her last thing she'd want to
Wow.
eat.
All right.
Yeah, hot dogs. Was hot dogs on the list, Lombardi?
No, pizza. That's pizza. That's
I'd
the
ask
number
for
one.
caviar.
Pizza's such a bad last meal.
I agree.
Yeah,
Let's get like some meat or
I
something.
mean, how can you go wrong with pizza? Bread and gravy. I mean,
kind of sounds like they panicked when they asked them. You know, they didn't really thought about it yet, and they're like, I
I'm
mean,
telling
pizza,
you.
I guess.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yeah.
It would be funny if it was gluten-free pizza.
Yeah, I'm really
don't
watching
think so.
myself before I go. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks. Richard Sherman. We've talked a lot. Mike Lombardi, early on GM Street, if you go back, sort of reported that Richard Sherman was being shopped. It was acknowledged that he was being shopped at one point. Maybe, possibly. He said that he's always on the market. He said everyone's on the market. It's a business. But he also comes out and he says that he and Russell Wilson are phenomenal as far as teammates.
There's no way that's true.
That's what he said.
There's no way those
Josina
guys have
Anderson
ever hung out.
reporting. He
Do you
says
think
it.
they've ever hung out?
No.
No
What would they do
chance.
if they hung out? We're
I
talking
don't
about
know. What
books?
does anyone do with Russell Wilson? What would you do with Russell Wilson?
Read the Bible.
Is that what he does?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Would you watch like I don't know, sit down and watch Siesta Key on MTV with him? Like, what do you do? What does he into?
I think he's a good hang. I'm coming to Russell Wilson's defense. I've watched him on Nickelodeon Kids. My kid loves Russell Wilson.
See, this is so cute. House is in this mode now, which I remember being in.
Yeah.
When the pro athletes show up on the Disney/Nickelodeon shows, you like Chris Bosh. I love for life. He had a great episode of Jesse.
See what I'm
so
saying?
now you love Russell Wilson because he
Yeah.
made your kid happy for
he
2
makes
minutes.
my kid happy, and you
Okay.
can see how good he is with kids. There's something about his personality that makes people want to be around him. He's got a magnetic personality. I think he could be a good hang.
Tate totally disagrees.
Yeah.
Tate does not find it magnetic in the least.
Do you think it's a little bit of false?
I've seen Russell Wilson do a lot of things on a football field that are amazing. Off the field, you know, that's
Put it
is
this
what
way:
it is.
if he went to Duke, Tate wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. It's deeper than just this.
Yeah,
This is so deep. we don't have enough time
yeah,
for
that's
this.
like
By
a
the way-
North Carolina rivalry. Yeah, it's a lot. That goes a lot.
But not
goes
to
back.
interrupt this Sherman Wilson thing, but I heard that we're driving in the car today, and they said Mike Krzyzewski had his knee
surgery.
replaced.
Yeah.
And I said in the car, I was like, if they start out 2-5, Coach K is gonna take time off because his knee hurts, and Tate's gonna go crazy.
The thing
so
about it-
you're on the record with that
He
one
got
already,
the
right?
exact same thing last year on the other knee, right?
Yeah.
But he went to the Olympics anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't think he wanted to go to the Dominican Republic.
Right.
So if you're in the Dominican Republic, Coach Cal loves you. Coach K does not love you. Take that.
Tate thinks all of Coach K's medical decisions are based on
Wins
where
and
he
losses.
wants to go and how his team is
It's an
playing.
ability to maneuver in
Yeah.
any situation. Control the
he's-
headline game.
It's the best. Tate's hatred for Duke is my favorite Ringer subplot. Anyway, go ahead.
What was the way you would describe your relationship with Russell Wilson? Do you remember what word you used?
Professional, I think.
Yes, it was professional. Why did you specifically choose professional?
Because we're pros. We hang out from time to time. We're, you know what I mean? We get along. Everybody gets along. But is my relationship with Russell the same as it is with Doug, or the same as it is with Bobby? No. But is his relationship with me the same as it is with Noe or Britt, or you know what I mean? It's just different dynamics. But as teammates, we're phenomenal.
I think he answered it, right? He's professional.
Yeah.
And
So,
I-
but it wasn't it a weird? I mean, not to go into this anymore, but just basically the way he sets it up is like, yeah, we don't get along necessarily. Like, we're not the best of friends. We're professional, and then it later turns around and is like, but we're phenomenal. You know, it's just like the funniest way. It's like, yeah, all this stuff. It leads all up. It's like, but we're phenomenal.
I don't know how you answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it's so hard. Look, they have the most important thing, they share a common goal. And I think the one thing about practice at Seattle, it's competitive. And and Pete's teaching competitive practice. I mean, Pete's the guy driving this machine. So Pete loves this kind of conversation. This is what makes Pete fuel his fire, because it gets the competitive juices going. This is what he's coaching. I mean, it's completely opposite of New England, right? New England's players say nothing. Seattle players are outspoken, and it both works. I mean, it just shows you that it can work. And I think that Sherman's pretty clear, but they're not going to. I mean, Malcolm Butler and Brady aren't hanging out. Even though Brady gave him a car, they're not hanging out.
Brady would hang out with him if he did TB12,
Right?
and lived his life the TB12 way.
But they all, you know,
I would. He'd hang
they're
out
all
with me
eating
too.
better there. There's no doubt. Brady's way of eating has kind of changed the whole it kind of rubs because you see a guy who's 40 years old, look at the way he looks.
He's throwing 55-yard spirals to Brandon Cooks.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Hitting him in stride.
Yeah, it's literally unbelievable.
Stop it, House. We will shut off your mic.
Not believable.
House will shut off your mic.
With Dr.
He leads a clean life.
Caruso Guerrero, whoever his guru
healthy.
is there
Stop,
in the corner.
House.
Sure he does.
House.
Sure
Come on,
he does.
House. It's Patriots week.
Yeah.
Lombardi, is there a documented case in the last 30 years of a defense versus offense feud that actually submarine a team? Because I remember like the Eagles in the early 90s. Remember that they had that great defense and the offense wasn't good enough, and there was a great book written about it by Mark Bowden.
I think that the Houston Oilers, when Buddy Ryan was there with Kevin Gilbride, I mean that the Houston, one of the tragedies of the NFL, and Mike Holloway was the general manager of the Houston Oilers, should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's a collection of some of the greatest players that have ever been put together. And for them not to win, I mean, they won one divisional game and got to a conference championship game and had a 35-3 lead and lost it. You know, I think that team had a lot of bad chemistry about it, and I think the offense.
Do you think it hurt the Seahawks the last 2 years?
Yeah, I do.
Seemed like it hurt them a little bit.
I think what happened was, here's why I think it hurt them. It made the Seahawks offense try to be something they're not.
Yeah.
And it took them out of their personality. The 49ers, when they were great with Walsh's genius behind the offense made Seifert and the defense become more creative. So it's a little bit of, if you're playing against somebody every day and they're kicking your ass, you're going to try to figure out a way to do it. Well, that's what the 49ers. Well, Seattle was trying to do something different to beat their defense, but they just weren't good at it, and it made themselves worse as opposed to just stay with who they are. Don't turn the ball over, run it, run the outside zone, play action. This is Russell Wilson's game. I think sometimes if you lose sight, that's why the head coach has got to keep things under control.
But doesn't that come back to the Russell thing? So we had that 5-interception game against the Packers. That was probably the most vulnerable he's ever looked. And it was because he couldn't move because his ankle was messed up. His ribs are all messed. He was basically injured last season.
He's too banged up.
Not the same guy. He goes this whole offseason. He was 225 last year. He's lost all this weight. He says he's in the best shape of his life. He said he's not chubby anymore. He's got a whole new his own version of TB12. It's like he completely has flipped the whole narrative, and now like Richard Sherman's, great teammates with him, and it just seems like it's the old Russell Wilson as far as like the golden boy. The golden boy image is back with him, and that's what they need in Seattle. I
mean, I'm told by a lot of people in the league that Seattle this summer, I wasn't out at their camp, but I think Seattle this summer is back to the Seattle of old. And I think Seattle's 13 and 12 and 13 teams, 14. I think they'll be that. I think they're going to be hard to play. Look, they get San Francisco, which will be better, but they're still not any good. Seattle.
Come on.
They're not going to be any good, right?
No.
And the Rams, I know everybody, summer
God, no.
sensation I know our boy Goff is having tremendous time in May and all that. Okay. And, and Arizona's got a quarterback who I think is going to go back to what he always was, which was last year. Still don't have a corner. I think Seattle wins that easily.
Who's in better shape, Byron Leftwich or Carson Palmer?
I'd give it to Carson. I love Byron. I mean, Byron was just happy. Nobody was happier than he was.
He's calling plays for Carson. I'm happy for him.
I don't think Byron could play as much golf.
What do you mean?
He's a QB coach.
I don't think
Byron Leftwich?
Yes.
I don't think he could play as much golf as Carson plays. I think the walk-in would get to Byron.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Wilson, right? So if everything goes right and he has this great year, he's got 2 years left on his deal. I mean, is he getting the largest? He's getting the Andrew Luck contract, or now that we're seeing all these other quarterbacks?
It's going to be the Matthew Stafford contract once that
or
comes
the Matt
out.
Ryan contract,
and then Andy Dalton's
or the Kirk Cousins contract.
Kirk Cousins is going to be the first $100 million man, $100 million a year.
Can I?
Joe House just fell back in his chair when that was mentioned.
Can I give an early opinion on the Matt Stafford contract extension?
Yes, please.
Ooh. Nah.
Well,
you could. Baltimore's in the spot with Flacco, right?
Right.
They had to. And Detroit's going to be in the spot
he
with
won a
Stafford.
Super Bowl at
they
least.
have to. I know, but it's.
But at some point,
you
have
can't.
to
Pay,
say
it's
to
like
Stafford,
fantasy. You can't pay $53 for a quarterback.
Look, you can't have all the money. You can't have it all. If you want
Or if you have it all here, go look at Joe Flacco. Go look at what happened to the Ravens the last few years because this contract.
Because go ahead.
This is
your Kirk Cousins
probably my
argument?
hottest take of the summer.
Should we have Jim Cunningham cut his accents? Hot air.
I think the Washington Redskins, through their own sheer ineptitude and incompetence, have done exactly the right thing with Kirk Cousins.
Okay, it's a series of one-year deals that they're not too...
Show it. They've done show-me contracts, and they're paying a tax for that, right? They're paying the franchise tax. But what they are avoiding by way of these one-year show-me deals is the franchise submarining salary cap hit that you get by paying the guy. Now, if they could have signed him 2 years ago and had it rated out over 4 or 5 years, if that was an option that they missed, an opportunity that they missed, then they properly deserve the criticism. But I think they kind of stumbled themselves into this corner where it's a show-me contract each year. And at the guts of it, what they have to believe is he might not be that good.
He might not be that bad either.
But
Right.
he's
Here's
just
the
good enough.
reality, though. I think, look, when the Sixers signed J.J. Redick to the $23 million deal, after I got up off the ground, I felt good about it because at least it was only 1 year.
Right.
So I get your point. But the problem is this: they've done nothing to draft a quarterback to come in and say they keep getting taxed again. And at some point, if they would have picked a quarterback or done something, I would say, you know what, there's a plan there. But without doing that, there's an absence
Like
of
what
a plan.
Kansas City did this year.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like, okay, look, we're going to pay you, Kirk, but we're going to go up in the draft and we're going to take Deshaun Watson or we're going to get Mahomes or we're going to take somebody. But we're not going through this. Blake Bortles will be available for you next year. I can see that. I can see that.
Poor Blake.
It's the most Deadskins move ever.
Wait, does it hurt them to do the 1 year? Is there some sort of tax
It's
that I don't know
expensive.
about?
It's expensive.
Well,
It's
next
$27
year-
More
million.
expensive to pay him $130 million. Though.
Next year, you can't. The only way you can franchise someone 3 years in a row, you have to pay 44% of his last year's salary. So his number, whatever it's, $25 million this year,
right?
44% of that. So what's your alternative now?
So that's $100 million.
Well, no, it won't be. I mean, my math's horrible.
I can't do math.
My math's horrible, but it's going to be somewhere in the 30s, right?
A single-year
It's
deal.
$290 million.
He'll be on a 1 year deal that would make him the highest paid quarterback in the league
by a lot, right?
Would you like that?
Well, that would mean that he proved that he deserved to be franchised again, which means we might have made the playoffs. I mean,
but if
this
you're
is
his
the
agent,
conundrum.
just say, House, you become priority sport and you now represent Kirk Cousins, and just hypothetically say he has a great year. Okay, why would you not just sit there and say, pay me 44% increase?
That's exactly the correct
deal for
answer.
Cousins.
It's a great deal for Cousins. This is a win-win, a rare win-win in Washington.
You know what else is a win-win? Stamps.com.
I still use them, Bill.
Convenient, easy, reliable, flexible. My favorite words to describe them. You don't go to the post office,
I know.
right?
I use
You're in the
Stamps. I've
beach?
used
Yeah, why not? Use
Stamps.com
Stamps.
since the BS report.
I know Tate. I mean, he doesn't know where the
Always.
post office is. House, I don't know what you do. You're old school. God only knows with you. But buy and print official U.S. postage with your own computer and printer. Sign up with Stamps.com. It's the U.S. Postal Service right at your fingertips. Any letter, any package, any class of mail, you're in control of all of it. Stamps.com will send you a digital scale. That's Zach Randolph, big Stamps.com fan. Too soon?
Too soon.
Jim, we have to edit that out. Damn it. That's a great joke. Stamps.com would enjoy that joke. Stamps.com will send you a digital scale that automatically calculates exact postage. Helps you send the best class of mail. Right now, use my code BS for this special offer. A 4-week trial plus postage plus a digital scale without long-term commitments. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone, top of the homepage, type in BS. Stamps.com. Enter BS. Sign up today. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. What do we got next, Tate?
This will be the last one. Cameron Newton, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers.
Cameron Newton, I like that.
Heard of him.
Yeah, he was an MVP once upon a time, and now everyone's back on the, are we sure he's good? Are we sure he is an elite quarterback? And a couple of guys, Willie Colon actually came out. People remember Willie Colon from the Steelers when they won the Super Bowl. He came out and said that Cam was a system quarterback and said, quote unquote, we're not sure if he's that smart. And then after that...
That's tough.
I hate that.
That's tough.
Colin Cowherd came after that and said that Cam is a running quarterback, and that's the easiest job in football.
I heard him have a whole take about how bad his MVP follow-up year was, and it would be the equivalent of Russell Westbrook
Shooting 38%.
Shooting 38%. Do you have that take? Is that what you're playing?
No.
But he said that, and then goes through this whole thing, and then somebody else on the set with him, because I was listening on the radio, was like, "But Colin, it's a team sport." Basically, like, if Russell Westbrook shot 38%, he's by himself. Cam Newton his stuff could go down, but other players
of all
might
the
factor
things
into
I would
that.
think of Cam Newton, the word system would never come into play. Like I don't like Willie Cologne's critique of Cam to say he's a system. Like I just don't see that. I think he's a loose play quarterback. I think he can be hot. I think he is a running quarterback in this era. And I think that David did a really good job. David Shula did a good job of utilizing his skill set when he's healthy. But they didn't have a lot of guys healthy last year.
I think they had trouble blocking. I think he got banged up from the first week. He was messed up, and they didn't really have enough weapons.
I mean, he's still banged up. I saw him last night before I left to fly to L.A. He stayed on the sideline eating sunflower seeds. I mean, so he's still not able to play out there. I think he gets a lot of criticism for, that are not fair. I mean, the guy is hard. If you're going to go play, if I'm driving to the stadium on Sunday morning and he's the quarterback, you got to worry about tackling him. You got to worry about catching him, and you got to worry about throwing the ball. He's not going to be great on third down, but a lot of guys aren't great on third down. We keep judging quarterbacks in one size fits all, and you got to take a step back. They're not going to be that way.
And the thing about Cam is a lot of the stuff that he gets, right, is from not being able to stand in the pocket and make a throw, throws off his back foot a lot. But he's one of the few guys that has enough arm strength to throw off his back foot. Right. I mean, that's sort of what he's good at. I mean, he just chunks it up his hard.
So we should take Dirk
down.
Nowitzki's one-legged shots that he made in his life and throw them out because he didn't shoot them like we did in Catholic school. I mean, come on. It's a joke.
Running is an easy, lazier way to play quarterback. It'll beat you up physically, but it's easier. You don't have to sit in the film room forever to run. You got to sit in the film room forever to be a pocket quarterback. You got to read a lot of tape. Cam Newton and the coaches in Carolina are trying to help him. They're trying to make him more of a pocket quarterback. Less shots, more wins.
I get how hard it is to do radio or TV or whatever it is that Coward does in the middle of the summer to make stuff up. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. That was like 35 seconds of just dumb thing after dumb thing.
What was his ultimate point?
The whole point is that Cam Newton is basically taking the easy way out, right? He's saying that he compares it to Tom Brady. He says Brady, when he goes home, all he wants to do is watch film. Or Aaron Rodgers, all he wants to do is watch film. Cam Newton doesn't want to watch film. And all this is conjecture, of course. But basically the whole point is that he doesn't want to do it the hard way. He wants to rely on his athleticism, which is, I feel like Cam Newton is his John Wall proxy in football. This is the thing. This is why I know it's rubbing me the wrong way. I mean, it's lazy to be a running quarterback. He doesn't want to put in the work. I can't stand that kind of stuff. And I know that it's a trigger. I've been triggered.
That's why you're here.
Because of the John Wall thing.
We set you up. We set you up.
You really did.
We Paul Castellano'd you. We set you up.
Well, the John Wall thing, everyone in Chocolate City loves John Wall. And then it turns out, do your spiel about how screwed up John Wall's knees were.
Well, no, it's not my spiel. We came to understand that
but how they showed him the picture.
Season.
Yeah.
I didn't. We heard the story. It wasn't my spiel. It was,
that's right. Yeah, somebody else told us the story. Yeah, they showed the picture of his knees before he got them fixed, and the doctors were like, "Holy shit, how'd you play with this?"
Yeah,
and they fixed his knees, and he was like, "Oh my god, I can run fast again." And I don't know. John Wall has a lot of heart.
I think that's
I have trouble with the whole narrative of this guy doesn't work that hard. How do we know? We're not there with him.
I know he works hard.
I
mean, everybody I've talked to in Carolina says he does work hard. I mean, the coaches there, they're not bitching about him.
If your quarterback doesn't work hard, the whole organization will be talking about that nonstop.
Exactly.
They won the effing Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he works hard.
It's sort of like when
they were 15-1.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, they almost were a perfect season that year. And it's like when Brady, everyone was like, he's done. That against the Chiefs game when they lost that Chiefs game, it's like he's done. He's done. His
Thank
career
God I
is
wasn't
over.
on Twitter that
it's
week.
Like that's Tom Brady. Like that's Cam Newton. That's the MVP 2 years ago. Like what's the point? And they poke and prod him, and like the guy, he reads all this stuff. He reads it, gets in his own head about it, and then
you shouldn't read this stuff. I don't think, if I'm a quarterback, I'm not reading anything.
Well, because
I don't
first of
think
all,
Tom Brady reads jack shit.
No, because the people evaluating don't understand it. Like, they don't understand what you're going through. They don't understand all the hardship you have, whether it's the injuries or the thing. They don't really get the big picture. And even somebody like that knows the game, you make judgments on. I remember the one year I was watching Logan Mankins play for the Patriots, and I'm like, God, he doesn't look very good. He can't. Well, it comes out he was playing on a torn ACL. Oh, he wouldn't look good either.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know that. I'm not on the privy. I'm not privy to that. And so there's sometimes you're going to make mistakes and you judge a guy. I just think sometimes we're way too hard on Cam because he doesn't do it the way we visualize a quarterback should play. Aaron Rodgers, just for the record, doesn't do it because the way they call plays there and the way they're set up, he has to make plays with his feet too. He just doesn't run for it. He makes a lot of loose plays.
Here's my best point of the summer. I almost want to give this a sponsor. I was talking to Chris Ryan about this. It's really interesting because when I was growing up, basketball, I loved the NBA the most of all the sports. And everybody's like, the NBA is too black. It's they couldn't figure out how to market it. It's this whole thing. And there's all these crazy stories about it that if you reread it, you just can't believe it. And then things started to flip. Bird and Magic come along. Jordan comes along. NBA's doing great. Then the late 90s hit. Now all of a sudden it's like we can't identify with these guys. They're all making too much money. They're all complaining. Then it starts flipping again with the LeBron era. Now you see it, this decade, it's flipped where the NFL is where the NBA was, where these NFL guys get no benefit of the doubt. You look at like the NBA, right? Who is Westbrook's doppelganger in the NFL? It's Cam Newton, right? Interesting personality, one-of-a-kind athlete, flamboyant, beats to his own drum. If Cam Newton was in basketball, people would fucking love Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He would be treated the same way Westbrook's treated and all these other guys. And if Westbrook was in football, what would they say, Mike? What would they say about Westbrook in football?
I say he's a loner, shellfish.
Yeah, hasn't really bought into the team
concept.
He plays really hard, but he's all about his own stats.
But he works his ass off. He's in shape. I mean, at some point you have to not. This is the hardest thing. My generation, if you're evaluating to Allen, is you can't judge players through your eyes. You have to go back and understand what millennials do, and then you have to kind of because nobody's going to, that's the hardest thing for Tom Brady. He's 40 years old. All these rookies are 21.
Right.
He can't react to how they are. Well, we brought Braxton Miller in for a visit, and this really taught us a lot. Braxton Miller's a flamboyant millennial, talk about himself, the selfie guy, and it kind of turned off people in the building because he wasn't exactly a patriot kind of quote unquote guy. But there's a deeper lesson to learn there, and that's when we all started to learn about what it is millennials and how it all changes. Because if you're just going to cast a guy aside because you don't really relate to him from your generation, you're going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Hernandez. No, come on, Mike. Come on. No, but I do think like Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
If you put Odell Beckham on the Los Angeles Lakers right now and he was the basketball version of Odell Beckham, people would be having a jerk-off session about it. Oh, my God. They wouldn't be talking about, Odell Beckham, he wants to be the highest paid player. Oh, that's crazy. He'd be like, yeah, Odell Beckham wants to be the highest paid player.
It's the position, too. Quarterback.
Yeah. It is weird, though. I think some of the racial stuff's overrated, but... Like Rodgers scrambles all the time.
All the time. What blows me away
is always like trying to prolong plays and taking crazy hits. Nobody's like, he's got to change the way he plays.
Nobody stays in the pot. I mean, Brady does. Phillip Rivers. There's few guys.
Brady gets rid of the ball. Is what he does.
Gets rid of the ball.
He's quick.
He's quick-minded. He might not be quick-footed. He's quick-minded, and that's a difference. And like the game is now spread. The quarterbacks are moving around.
Yeah.
So that's what the day of Jim Plunkett standing back there and taking a beating or Steve Barkowski are over with. They can't hold up.
The quarterbacks are moving around to buy time. They're not necessarily moving around so they can become a running back and get hit by three guys.
The way he was described, the way Colin was described, it was almost like Cam's running the wishbone.
Right.
That's not what he's doing.
Well, all right. So here's a play that Cam does that not a lot of people do, right? The little dive play that they did over and over again on 3rd and goal from the 3. Take the 5 steps back, and then he goes into the line like a battering ram.
It's like a Tebow play.
Yeah, you can make a case. Yeah, maybe he's getting a little older. Maybe take that one out of the playbook or use it in the most special circumstance possible. But Brady took some huge hits last year. And Brady had big scrambles in the Super Bowl like that. He's running around. He got nailed by a couple people.
And if Brady could run that play, that quarterback draw, they would put it in. But he can't.
Well, he's 539 out of 540 on QB sneaks.
He's the best QB sneaker.
He got stopped once, but I think they threw a flag on it.
He's the best. But anyway.
But yeah, I do think... If you shift your brain and think about football players like basketball players and vice versa, like imagine if Blake Griffin was like let's say he was a tight end on the Philadelphia Eagles who was getting paid a ton of money who kept getting hurt. What would they say about Blake Griffin?
It'd be like Jimmy
kill him.
Graham.
Oh, they'd run him out of town. They'd run him out of town.
Get rid of this guy. This guy's a bum. He can't stay on the field. He hit him. He goes
Meanwhile,
down.
the Clippers gave him $180 million.
Yeah. That's the difference between basketball and football right now.
He's going to be good. I believe in Blake.
Hold on. We got one more. We got to talk about Princess Cruise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
House loves a cruise.
I might
They
like
have
a
food
cruise.
and entertainment and drinks.
You can gamble and eat.
And gambling.
Pretty sure.
Take a vacation anywhere in the world. Where would you go? Where would you go, House?
Sweden.
I would go to Alaska.
Sweden. There's some good food. There's some good food in Sweden.
Good food.
Yeah.
Okay. Chances are, no matter where you want to go, Princess Cruises can take you there. Voted best itineraries, Princess Cruises sails to over 360 destinations worldwide. Plus, the ship is equipped with a 300 square foot poolside movie theater where you can enjoy movies, concerts, and even sports. And there's never been a better time to plan a vacation with Princess Cruises than during their most popular sale of the year, Sip and Sail. You like sipping?
My wife likes sipping.
Book a balcony or above and get the best all-inclusive beverage package at sea for free. Enjoy everything from cocktails, wine, and beer to soda, specialty coffee, and smoothies as you explore world-famous destinations. Just visit princess.com/BS for details. That is princess.com/BS. Holiday cruise. Why not? We're almost in range to really start thinking about football and fantasy and Super Bowl sleepers and all that stuff. In the preseason, we've learned to care about less and less and less and less and to kind of ignore it. On the other hand, like I was listening in the radio today, somebody pointed out that Terrell Davis would not have made the Broncos if it wasn't for a preseason game, which I thought was... I'd never heard that point. I don't 100% know if it's true.
And it was a tackle, right? It wasn't even like he was a returner or something. It was like
something happened that he made the team.
Yeah.
Is if we got rid of preseason, if we just got rid of it and the season started with week 1 and there's just scrimmages and then
Like
it leads up,
college.
is football any different?
Yeah, I think there would be a lot more personnel mistakes.
More mistakes.
Yeah, I think there would be. I think that, coaches kind of have their mind made up on guys, and if they don't practice good, then they get in the game, they all of a sudden, wait a minute, guy gets... And then there's the other way around, guys. The lights come on, and it's a little bit too hard for them, and what you saw in practice. Because remember, after you get through the 4th or 5th day of practice, okay, you've practiced against these guys all the time. They're smart, so they
learn your bad
they
habits.
They learn you're doing. They learn
moves.
what you're doing. You're not playing So say you're in a 9-on-7 drill. That's a run period. So you play the run, and so you have to take away the evaluation, and now that becomes a toughness drill. So I think we need them, and I think what we need them, and I wrote this today in the Ringer. I think September is still the evaluation process for teams because there's not enough there's not enough contact. I mean, guys have days off now. I mean, and offensive and defensive linemen have to have so many reps to be ready for the season. They're like boxers. They have to spar so many rounds. And when they take days off, they're going to need to get into September before they really get in shape. It's hard to be a defensive lineman and rush 60 plays if you haven't had a really good camp and practice 2-a-days. It's hard. So September is a month where that's still going on.
Out of the bandwagon sleepers that we tend to start hearing about right now, Tate, who is it? Like Tampa, Tennessee, tiny bit of Jacksonville.
Yeah, people are trying to do the Texans. Everyone's like, I like Watson. He's a winner.
But the Texans were okay last year.
Yeah,
I mean that's
that
like
division. Yeah,
but I see like Tennessee, which I can see the case, but they haven't done jack shit yet. Do you believe in any of these bandwagon cases, Mike?
I'm not a big Tennessee believer, only for the sense that I think that last year they got a chance to get to 10 wins. And I know Mariota got hurt in the game against Jacksonville, but they were getting, he was 8 for 20 in that game before it fell apart on him. So I got to see what they can do pass rush wise. LeBeau's system and schemes, I think people have a pretty good understanding how to handle Pittsburgh stuff. Pittsburgh's changed. They don't run it anymore.
It's the triangle of defenses.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really as sharp as everybody wants to make them out.
So they're out. Jacksonville, you're not going to move them because of Bortles.
No, there's no way. I mean,
Tampa?
I think Tampa's
they
pretty
got some
good.
blue chippers.
Tampa's a funny team. Tampa's personality is like Winston. He plays bad, throws interceptions, but they have this winner type mentality. They come back. They're like an unmade bed. They don't look pretty, but they're comfortable. And they find a way to win. I wouldn't rule them out.
House and I watched the Hard Knocks with them, and it's basically a Winston infomercial for 6 minutes, and he goes back and you watch that dude for 5 minutes just interacting with everybody and his teammates, and he really does seem like a real leader. Like it feels like we're going to hear from him in January at some point soon.
I think that South is really good. I think Carolina will be better. I think New Orleans will be better. I think New Orleans is excited about Peterson.
But let's say McCaffrey's awesome.
Right.
Let's say he's like rookie of the year.
Right.
Let's say he is this immediate triple threat from that position.
He's the speed they need. They haven't had that.
Let's give them that and say Newton's more healthy. What does that mean? Is that an 11-win team now?
I think so. If Kuechly doesn't get hit, I mean, if Kuechly,
see that's what's killing you. Kuechly's one more, and how many times have we seen this in football? When the guy's one more hit away, the hit always happens. It's fucking football.
He's
You're
become
gonna
the
hit
new
somebody.
Dan Morgan, where you're just like waiting for that time. Where you're
and
just
I hope
too
it
much.
doesn't happen to Kuechly, but that's what would concern me. I think Carolina.
So defensively, that falls apart if he's out
the way
again?
they run their scheme, it becomes difficult to do it. I tell you, I think Buffalo's going to be a sleeper team this year. I think Buffalo's got a lot of things going for them. They have a legitimate guy running the program. They have a culture they're trying to build.
QB?
The quarterback's not great, but he's play action. I think they'll do some things with him.
You didn't want to say his name.
Who?
The QB.
Oh, Tyrod Taylor?
But do we think he's 100% the quarterback?
I think he will be the quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor will be the quarterback.
Who's the other choice? I haven't done all my homework yet.
EJ Manuel's gone. He's the backup
they
in
didn't
Oakland
have
now.
another choice.
Yeah, it's basically Tyrod. Yeah.
So, but they got some nice pieces.
What a compelling case.
No, I think defensively they're much better. They're healthier there.
Well, fortunately, they gave the Patriots their best running back. That helped.
Right. But LaShawn McCoy's their best back.
No, I'm kidding.
But I like. I think Buffalo could surprise some people. I think Miami's getting all the talk. We can get into Jay Cutler conversation. I just really think Miami's. I think Adam Gase is probably smiling, knowing that he was able to kind of get away from Tannehill and actually get better.
So when I heard the Jay Cutler, my first reaction as a Pats fan was, "This is great."
Yeah.
Jay Cutler twice a year. This is great. And I thought it was idiotic by Miami and Hail Mary. And then I remember the Adam Gase, that Cutler was good with him that
15,
year.
he was really good with him.
Yeah.
Best
And then I was
season.
kind of like, crap. What if he's
'Cause
actually...
Miami's good
now
on
I've kind of
offense.
talked myself into being afraid of it.
Miami's good
But
on
I'm also
offense.
in the AFC East where we never have to be afraid of anyone. So you talk yourself into Jay Cutler with Adam Gase.
But Miami's problem still on defense. How Vance Joseph got to become a head coach after that defense was so bad. That could be a documentary in itself. But the reality of it is that their defense has yet to proven that they're good. I think I think there's some real. I think the coaches in the AFC East are better than people think they are.
Yeah.
I think Bowles is a decent coach. He's got a bad team. I think Gase is a really good coach, and I think Sean McDermott's going to be a good coach. So I think those three. I think Buffalo's actually going to get coached this year. I think it was a circus up there with Rex. So I think Buffalo's going to be much better.
So that's one of the we like to look at when we're looking at our sleeper teams. Lombardi and I always have a come to Jesus long 3-hour conversation about it. You look at the coach upgrade. Did they come off the season from hell where, like, Houston's a good example of just a bunch of stuff just went wrong. And they're probably better than they are.
You put a legitimate quarterback in Foxborough that night when they're playing the Patriots, and Deion Lewis, he doesn't make those plays. Osweiler has guys wide open in that game. He doesn't make throws.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the Super Bowl, that Houston-Texas game probably was the hardest game they had to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, we were watching that game, and you were like, "Look how open!" Like we could see receivers that were wide open, and Osweiler was just staring down.
Oh yeah, we did a podcast after that game.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I can't believe that these guys are so open. Because you were like, "There's no way if these guys are this open, we're going to win a Super Bowl." This doesn't even look like our defense right now.
Yeah.
Thank God Osweiler was just staring down his number one guy every time.
Yeah, I mean, that Patriots defense probably should not have won a Super Bowl. It's
remarkable.
I still can't believe it. I still can't get over it. It's on. Every time it's on, I start watching it. I just can't believe it. I can't believe 28-3 in the regular season is insane. But then when you think about how Atlanta was moving the ball and how they could run the ball, they could throw the ball for 10 yards every time. There's just no way that it shouldn't have happened.
If you play it 10 times, it's not. It's gonna. Atlanta's gonna win 9.
Like the Falcons having not won a Super Bowl, and then like if I was a Falcons fan, I don't know if I guess like the closest I've come to that 86 World Series, like at that point I'm pretty young. But then like the 03, the Boone home run, and I just spent the whole winter just rehashing it and fucking driving myself crazy about it. That Falcons game, I would never recover from that. And Matt Ryan hiking the ball with 17 seconds left. And
I think when I said this to you before we went on the air, Matt Ryan had a season that was lights out. Like if he was a baseball player, they would test him for steroids because he had one of those seasons that it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if you're a Falcon fan, if you think Matt Ryan can duplicate that year again, wow. Because there are nothing normal in his statistical career that shows that he can have that kind of season.
Would you be shocked if the Falcons, there's some people that are like, the Falcons are going to go back, they're going to redeem themselves. Would you be shocked if they made it back to the Super Bowl? I mean, that just doesn't happen.
I would be really shocked because I just don't see how they can be as good.
Freeman got that huge contract.
I don't see how they can be as good offensively. I think Kyle Shanahan wasn't given enough credit. I know he takes the rap for the Super Bowl loss because he didn't call run plays. That's not his job. His job is to get first down, score points.
And they tried to run Freeman. People forget. They tried. He got 1 yard, he got 2 yards.
They had huge turnovers and dumb plays. I mean, they had first down from the 32 or from 22. All they need is 5 yards to win the game.
Roberts doesn't cover Freeman out of the backfield when the ball's on Atlanta's own 10-yard line and Freeman runs out to midfield. I mean, at that point, you think there's no chance they can win the game, right? Yeah. And they still found a way to do it. So,
who do you think every year, like some new offensive guy either makes the leap or sometimes it's the defensive guy too, but mostly it's an offensive guy where that first month they're like, oh, this guy, and then this becomes the guy we're all excited about. Who is that this year?
You mean like a quarterback that just...
Or like 1 year was Odell. 1 year was Gronk. Like there's always like 1 year was JJ Watt as superhuman. There's always the one guy who makes the jump. Last year people thought it was going to be Khalil Mack, but it wasn't. But do you think, is there a guy like just a blue chipper who's by October 5th we're going to be like that guy?
That's a hard one. I mean, I'd have to go through it. Go ahead.
Tate's
Tate.
going to say McCaffrey.
No, I was going to say Alshon Jeffrey.
I don't see it. I think Alshon Jeffrey. He's a jump ball receiver. I don't see that one.
He's been in the league too long.
Oh yeah, was it 5 years?
Yeah, I would say like it's got to be
a year. Be a young guy. I'm just trying to think.
I'm gonna be like under 26.
Opportunity. He's on that 1 year deal. I feel like he's trying to get a big contract.
I think Dalvin Cook at Minnesota might be that guy.
Oh yeah,
the running back. I think people like, oh wow, why they got him in the second. I think the second round. I think Alvin. I don't know Kamara. I think from Tennessee. The Saints are high on him. I think he's going to give them some plays.
Let me throw a name at you.
Yeah.
What about Mike Evans?
I think Mike Evans.
Thinking about this during Hard Knocks because with Deshaun Jackson on the other side, Jameis is going to be better.
And
Team's going to be
Howard.
better.
See, they have O.J. Howard in there. See, that's to me that separates. They had the other kid in there last year who played well. I forget his name.
Austin Safarian Jenkins, right?
Well, no, he went to the Miami. He was drinking and got cut. And He's sobered up. He's actually had a really good camp.
He's sobered up too.
Yeah,
finally.
But I mean, they actually have some weapons down at.
Don't you think Evans has the talent?
Oh, he's unbelievable. Yeah, no, I think he definitely does.
Because it's right around with wide receivers sometimes. Like T.O. had that Philly year in 04.
They're hard to cover.
Moss had the 07 Pats year where they've been in the league a few years. They get rid of all the dumb stuff, and then just the athleticism takes over with the brains for that 1 year.
Right.
What about Amari Cooper?
I think the quarterback.
Mark Cooper, that could be at some point.
I think the one thing I like about Tampa is they've adopted his personality. Like they can shit down their leg and they still bounce back. I mean, you'll see they'll be like the first weekend they'll be down 21-3 in the second quarter. Everybody said Tampa was going to be good, and then it'll be a close game.
It's
in the
like how
quarter.
The Giants have adopted Ben McAdoo's personality.
Don't go
Have you seen
there.
his haircut?
Don't go. When are you getting Ben McAdoo on House of Carbs? I think you
should talk about the Ben McAdoo menu.
Absolutely.
I think you should. I really think you're missing an opportunity.
Laminated.
I think you're missing an opportunity.
Did we hit everything, Tate?
Yeah, we hit everything. I mean, this has been a great GM Street little combo. It's been good.
Carolina?
It's a combo platter.
It is a combo platter.
Are you going to let Tate easy on the Panthers or what?
Yeah, I'll let him go.
Because I think he thinks they're going to go 12-4, and he's convinced himself that they're going to stay healthy on D.
I don't like what the Panthers did to their GM. I think their GM was trying to build the right team. I think the owner wants to give away money. But
Jerry's like in love with his players.
I think he is.
It's like a love affair.
But I think that'll affect him. But I like Carolina.
Who wins the NFC North? Just out of curiosity.
I think Green Bay will win the North. Whew.
Give me Zimmer all day.
I mean, the NFC North could be bad this year.
Yeah, well, Chicago's not going to be very good.
That could be like a 9-7 type.
I don't think Detroit's coming back from. And they were falling apart last year, so I think Green Bay. Green Bay's a little better on defense. If they can stay healthy, it's still Sam checkdown Bradford. I don't know if you're going to win throwing checkdowns. Although, I'll say this. I'll end the podcast with this. Bortles loves a good checkdown now too.
Thanks to Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail. Use your own computer and printer. They'll send you a digital scale. Automatically calculate exact postage. You will never have to go to the post office again. Sign up for Stamps.com. Use promo code BS for a 4-week trial, plus postage, plus a digital scale with no long-term commitments. Click on the microphone at the top of the Stamps.com homepage. Type in BS. Thanks to Princess Cruises. If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go? House said Sweden. We're going to analyze that.
You know, House, I like when they do those shows where they go like the food, I forget what the name of them. You know, when they travel and do the food things all over the place. Yeah. Chef's Table.
Sure,
like, I love
sure.
Chef. I'm addicted to Chef's Table. Like, I love it. Right? Like, if it's Sweden, I'm not watching. Like, I can't. Like, what are we going to eat over there?
Tessa's number one Princess Cruises choice.
What are we going to eat?
360 destinations worldwide. There's never been a better time to plan a vacation with Princess Cruises than during their most popular sale of the year, Sip and Sail. Book a balcony or above. Get the best all-inclusive beverage package at sea for free. Enjoy everything from cocktails, wine, beer to sodas, especially coffee and smoothies. You like all of those things.
I love all
You
those
like gambling?
things.
We might have to get you in a cruise house. As you explore world-famous destinations, visit princess.com/BS for details. So GM Street, that's going to be on the NFL, the Ringer NFL show. We're thinking it's going to be during the seasons twice. Right?
Oh, we're going to do it twice.
Oh, yeah. We're doing it twice.
We're finding out things live.
Lombardi,
on the pod.
yeah. I think it's going to be twice during the season.
Whatever we want to do, I'm happy.
And then we got Mays and Clark as well. Tuesdays and Fridays.
Danny Kelly, right? Is that?
Oh yeah, Danny Kelly's involved. Yeah. We got a producer. Yeah, we're blowing out Ringer NFL show this year. So
The website looks great.
Look for that.
House, can't
Thanks,
thank you
Lombardi.
enough. This is awesome.
What did I do?
I enjoyed this. I loved it.
I love it too. Thank you for inviting me in.
Thanks, House. Thanks, Tate. Thanks for doing GM Street on the BS podcast.
This was awesome.
Thanks, Lombardi.
Thank
and,
you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks to everyone out there. I think we have at least 2 BS podcasts coming this week. It's a little slow, but it's about to heat up once football really starts to get going. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.